welcome to Gabie's Knit Goodies. I am Gabie and I have gift knits to show you today. Things that I have already made. I don't know that I'll put any ideas at the end, maybe of things I haven't made that I would like to, but primarily just stuff I've already knit. But first, what I'm wearing. This is Jennifer Steinglass pattern. I think it's called Goldwing, and it is knit out of the Fiber Company yarn in a single ply yarn that has a number of different fibers in it. I think it has some alpaca in there. Yeah, it's a little bit like nubbiny. I really like it. It's kind of heavy. It's very snuggly though. However, it pills quite a bit. That's my only complaint is the pilling. I wasn't sure about the green initially, but I absolutely love it. And I wear this sweater a good bit. So, and I knit it quite a while ago. So gift knits. Start with a sweater that I made my daughter. I still need to block it. Here we go. I call this a sweater. It's really just sleeves. She wanted something to wear over her leotards for dance. That was primarily just sleeves. And she wanted it to be meshy. So I kind of made it up and did a top-down raglan with like yarn over and knit two together, and just kind of winged it. I think it turned out pretty well. It does fit her, but it might have been slightly better if I had been able to have a pattern. I feel like it's a little looser in the body here than I would like, but everything else works pretty well. I did do on the bottom of the sleeve, I did like just a ribbing. Thought it might give the mesh some stability. If the mesh kind of became too like looser, it would keep the sleeve from dangling, from growing too much. So she's very excited about it. I just wove in my ends last night. I am going to block it just a tad, and then she'll be able to wear it. So that's one gift knit that the recipient already knows about. And this one I just finished. Look how beautiful it is. Oh, I love it. And I'm happy on camera you can really see the color work pretty well. When it's close up in person, the color work gets a little bit lost because of the yarns I chose to use. But yeah, I love how this turned out. This is a free pattern by Kelborn Woolens. It is the August hat. I forget the actual designer's name. I'll try to put the information up here and links down below. I did modify it with a ribbing. I did a ribbing brim first before I did this little Latvian braid. And then there's color work, another Latvian braid, and then color work to your crown decreases. In the pattern, the original pattern, you basically cast on and then go straight into that braid, which is a cute little toboggan. However, I was afraid a couple of things. I was afraid it might not be long enough, and I was also afraid that it might not stay on well because it has no like ribbing or anything to give it that like elasticity, I guess, to hold on. So I added the base here, which I really like, the brim. If you have never done a Latvian braid, this was my first time doing one, which was part of the reason why I chose to do this hat. I absolutely love it. It was not very difficult unless you get really annoyed by your yarns getting twisted. But it's, I think, like 3 or 4 rows total. But in this first row of little diagonals here, you are like rotating your yarn one way, like twisting it over one another. And then in the other row of opposite diagonals, you just twist it the other direction. So if you can keep it twisted one way, it'll untwist when you go around the opposite way, if that makes any sense. So you don't really have to bother with continually untwisting it, but it does get rather twisted, so you kind of need a long stretch of yarn to hold that twist, if that makes any sense. This first time, I untwisted as I went, and so therefore I had to untwist on both rounds of that. Whereas this one, I let it remain twisted, and then when I went back the second diagonal round, it got untwisted, so it worked out. So anyways, I think it turned out really cute, and I hope the recipient likes it. This is knit out of my own hand-dyed yarn, which is Caramel Macchiato and Mexican Hot Chocolate. These are 75-25 squishy, soft merino and nylon for strength, and DK weight. Yeah, I'm actually going to take down my hair. Hopefully this isn't a mistake. Maybe I'll leave a hat on and try this on for you guys. So especially you can see the modification I did with the 2x2 rib. This is the size, I think this is size 2. I think it comes in a couple of different sizes, and I think I did size 2. Could be mistaken. But it is enough to do a 2x2 rib. Like, it's the right numbers. I didn't have to change my numbers at all. So adding this brim does add maybe 1.5 inches that I did. So it does make it a little bit longer. So you have a little extra room at the top. So it's a little slouchy on me. If it was a guy, it probably wouldn't be. Let's see if I'm showing that properly. But it's super cute. It would be really cute with like a pom-pom up here, or like a tassel. Yeah. Let me show you, if I had not done the brim, it would be sort of like this. So I do think lengthwise for me it would be okay. But I feel like if I didn't have the ribbing, like, it might not even stay on. Like, I feel like it would be just loose around my head. I don't know. If anybody's knit this hat, let me know. Again, this is August hat from the Kelborn Woolens Year of Hats, and it is a free pattern on Ravelry anyways. All right. While I have my hair down, I will show you my other hat, which I still need to weave in my ends for. This lovely hat is the Halibut hat, and it is by the designer Caitlin Hunter, Boyland Knitworks, and I know she also has like a Halibut sweater that you can knit as well. And this is the base color for this one is Caramel Macchiato, and the contrast Mexican Hot Chocolate. So I knit this first out of 200 gram skeins, and then I had a good amount left over, and so I took what was left over and reversed the like main color for this hat. So I got both of these hats finished and I still have yarn left over. So I could like make a tassel or something with this for one of these hats. All with just the 200 grams total, the 100 of each color. So I thought that was pretty good. I liked how that worked out for me. And they match, but they're not the same at all. And they're going in the same family. So this is kind of a slightly different in terms of the shape. The hat has like a little bit of a point almost at the top. Like it's meant to be a little gnomish, I think. I don't know whether my recipient will like that or not. I hope they do. There we go. But it's cute. And again, you could do like kind of slouch it. Could make it slouchy, which is probably how I would wear it. But you could also intentionally, you know, make it pointy. Which is kind of cute. But you could also do like a tassel off of the end of this. And I think that would like make it very cute. So, Halibut hat by Boyland Knitworks in Gabie's Knit Good as Yarn. Okay. I have something you may have seen last year. This is just a scrunchie. A very great last minute quick gift knit for a girl. And it makes it very luxurious to hold mohair with something else. So I did this one holding, I think it was my peacock blue with just a cloud white mohair. So I have kind of a marling effect going on for this one. And it's just super soft. I used elastic that I tied to make the hairband part, the elastic. Let's see. Definitely works. But you could use just like an actual hairband and then seam it over top of the hairband. Either way. While we are on the hair gifts, I guess that's all I have left. Hair gifts. Hair related gifts. I am going to put my hair up and then show you these others. Okay, this next one, I actually made a slight mistake on it, but it's still cute. And I need to clip my yarn here. Sorry, I had woven in my end, but I hadn't clipped it. So this, there's a free pattern for this. It is supposed to be like more like how you would cut a ribbon with one side at an angle, but the other side straight. So it's not supposed to have the two ends that are like the pointy ends like this. It's supposed to just have a straight side and then a diagonal side, but that's okay. And this is kind of meant to look a little bit like a scarf in your hair. And you take your hair already put up, and then you would just tie it. Hopefully that's right. I can't really see myself in the mirror. So I think it's kind of a sophisticated alternative for a bow, and the narrow part in the center makes it so it doesn't add like a huge amount of bulk around your ponytail. but it kind of looks like a scarf or something in your hair. I think it's pretty. Again, I knit a fingering weight merino, what was left of this. This is ballet pink, and I don't think I've actually put it up in my shop because it's hard to take a picture of this, and I don't know what you can see on the screen here, but it's not white. It's ballet pink, which is almost like a peachy pink, but a light peachy pink. And so I used that with a strand of white cloud mohair in this, and the halo of mohair just adds luxury. So I think that's very cute and very easy to wear, and pretty easy to knit, and it is a free pattern. You start at one side, you increase, and then you knit straight, and then you decrease rapidly for this center section, increase rapidly, and do the reverse on the other side. Again, I don't know who designed it, but I will put it on the screen and link it below. Alright, another thing I have done, and I haven't woven in ends, is just a classic bow. This one is knit out of a worsted weight yarn. So I was looking around and I didn't find exactly the bow pattern I wanted, but I wanted to do a bow. So this one I actually wrote up a pattern for, and I posted it on Instagram recently, about a week ago maybe. So if you're interested, it works for any weight of yarn. You start at one end, you increase on one side only, and then you do a very long part in the middle, and then decrease on the other side. And then you make a small little band, small little rectangle here, and you fold that big long ribbon rectangle into like a bow shape, but not a tied one. Then you seam it all together, and then you add the band around it and seam it. So you can do it like that, or you could actually have this band be tied around or be seamed over top of a hair band, like a hair elastic, and then it's attached to a hair elastic, which is what my girls really like. And I knit my girls one out of Silver Mist mohair, kid mohair and silk. It is very soft and fuzzy, and I just knit it by itself, which gives a very airy, lofty, like ethereal look, I think. It would be really gorgeous in white as well. I'd like to do that. I don't know if I have time or not. I have a picture of that one, but I don't have that one on me. So if you don't put it on a hair elastic, you could always use, put it on a clip, or this is just a bobby pin. So you could put the bobby pin under that band, and then attach it wherever it is you'd like to attach it. My girls like to wear them on their like buns for dance class. But I think it's really cute and a very simple gift that just looks adorable. So I've knit another one that's even simpler in a lot of ways, but very, very similar. Again, ignore all the ends hanging off. I have yet to weave them in. This one is a seed stitch. The other one is a garter stitch, but I do slip the first stitch to make the edge look neat. This one I don't do that, I just straight up garter stitch. And I also just did a narrower ribbon here to make a smaller bow, because one of my girls wanted a smaller one. And I didn't even bother with doing the angled sides. I actually like this a lot. I think it's really cute. And this is a wool and wool silk blend, I think. The purple one, I believe, is acrylic. But my favorite is the mohair one. or mohair held with wool. That's my favorite. Yeah, it's so cute. This one took no time at all. The other ones still didn't take very long, but this was definitely the quickest. I think I only have like 9 stitches. If you're doing a seed stitch one, I recommend an odd number of stitches. So like this one was 9, because then just every round you're starting with a knit stitch. So you don't have to think of front side versus back side of your ribbon. You just knit purl across each row. And as long as you have an odd number of stitches, you will end up with a seed stitch. So, yes. It's lovely. And the only other tip I have for you for this is knit at a somewhat looser gauge rather than a tighter gauge, because you want drape. And also when you're choosing your yarn, I do recommend things with a little more drape to them. Like the silk added into this makes it nice and drapey. This one is probably the least drapey, and you can kind of tell that by how the ends are kind of sticking out, as opposed to like, you know, draping down a little bit more. It's not bad, but I prefer the fabric with a little more drape. So that is all I have for you today. But let me know what you're gift knitting. There's so many options out there, and I know now, whenever I get this podcast out, it's probably going to be very close to Christmas. So you're going to need really last minute gifts. So the scrunchie, the hair bows, perfect for girls, and oh, I have one more thing to show you, but maybe a plain hat for a boy wouldn't take too long. This is a sock that I knit the other day. My husband and I were going into the movies, and I needed something to keep me awake because it was kind of late. So I decided to start a sock. That's why it has such a small little cuff here of ribbing. I didn't want it to totally roll down, so I wanted a little bit of ribbing, but then it got dark, so I just, the movie started. So I just started knitting it around. It worked out quite well. I got a good amount done. Like I said, I did top down, US size, 2 needles, I believe. It's either 1.5 or 2. I did 60 stitches, and I used my 9-inch Chalgu circular needles. And then I did, instead of a heel flapping gusset, I decided to do the German short row heel. A lot of times I do heel flapping gusset, but I was looking for something just easier. And this one is a pretty easy heel. And then I finished off the toe by decreasing down to 10 stitches on the top and bottom, and then doing the Kitchener there. Oh, and then this yarn is called New Growth. I have 1 skein left in my shop. So if you are interested in it, I don't know if I will dye it again or not. Possibly in the spring, but I don't know. It is a very cheerful little sock. It has a variation of greens, but all in the light kind of yellowy green spectrum, and then it has like dusty pink little spots in it too. So I called it New Growth because it was springtime, and just that bright light green reminds me of like the new growth and the new little buds and flowers that pop up in the spring. So 1 sock down, and I did start the second one. I was really enjoying having this lineless knit on my needles. So this might be a gift knit for myself. I enjoy these, although my girls really want some socks too. So it could be for one of them. We will see. Anyways, happy gift knitting, Merry Christmas, and I hope that you are having lots of time to relax, recharge, and just enjoy life and enjoy family and enjoy friends, or enjoy being alone if you get that opportunity. I'm hoping I get a little bit of that time over this season. Yes, whatever brings you joy, I am wishing upon you. So, Merry Christmas. Bye.